Reserve time.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 5. We got Power Rangers versus Vega Squadron. Game 2 coming up, and Game 1, well, it was led by Power Rangers. It was dominated by Power Rangers. Great displays from Ditchira's Storm and Cheshire Cat's Legion Commander. So I don't really think those are the types of heroes you really want to be banning out as Vega, and they won't. But for Vega, had a pretty good performance on no one. The Magnus play was impeccable, but no one else could seem to get anything going. Either way, we'll see if they could switch that up and bring this to a game 3, or if they'll get dropped 2-0. I'm Mikelorus, going to be one of your casters. Got Danelie cast here, as well as Petty for stats. Oh man, it's looking like almost the same exact thing.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, pretty much the same stuff. They're going to ban the Wisp though, so Vega Squadron respect ban to the Wisp coming up from Power Rangers, whereas Power Rangers, they get rid of the Storm Spirit themselves, so probably just a deny pick in case Vega Squadron wanted to pick it up themselves. This is going to be a very hard game for Vega Squadron, because they are down a game. Power Rangers, they can take it a little bit easy. They might go for something a little bit quirky if they really wanted to, but Vega, they've got some heavy lifting to do. I'm not too sure, in all honesty, what they could really go for, because there's no cookie cutter build or cookie cutter draft that you could really go for if you're behind. But they might have to just go for their strengths at this point. They're going to first pick a Zeus. Now, I'm just going to make an assumption and say it's going to be a support Zeus, because we do see a lot of it. Free Sentry Board, free Global Vision, free burst damage as well. And wow, they go for a Lion. My goodness, all the burst damage already coming up from Vega Squadron with these two heroes that they just picked up.
Yeah, this is a hell of a lot of damage from these two heroes. Zeus was previously banned out in the first phase of the last game, and Lion was banned out in the second. So Vega getting their hands on some heroes that they didn't have access to in the last game, and that's all well and good. I think if they just play things safer, then they will be in a much better position. Like we saw last game, they ran an offensive tri-lane. It was okay, but I mean, it went pretty darn well, but the weakness in their other lanes was certainly there, and that's just a natural risk you run when you do something like that. So for Vega, if they just look towards their lanes and make sure that they don't get completely smashed, they will be at least much better than in last game. And with the Zeus Lion start, their lanes are already looking pretty darn strong. I mean, Zeus is maybe going towards mid lane. If no one grabs that one and has an equally impressive display in this game as he did in the last, then this Zeus is going to be getting a hell of a lot of kills, and having a guaranteed disable on Lion is absolutely fantastic. As Power Rangers, they decide to second pick the Lena, who was support last game, but maybe it's going to be shuffled around into a core position this time.
Yeah, we may actually see a core Lena. They've picked it up early, so they can be very versatile with her, in all honesty. Even though she might be a support, she still provides a lot of burst damage on her own. Whereas Vega Squadron, I'm only going to make the assumption here and say they drafted Zeus and Lion because they really felt their lack of damage last game. They're not going to make the same mistake. They're going to make sure they have the damage output, even though their hard carry might not have it. At least their mid laner or their supports or whatever, at least they have something to really help them during the early game to secure those kills. Because we have to admit, last game, Juggernaut was essentially their main damage dealer, correct? Aside from maybe the Scarith Mage, but you can't rely on the Scarith Mage alone for damage. He caps out because he's going to be sitting in that support role. So when Pashu Bashu couldn't build those items to really become a threat, Power Rangers didn't really have too much to be worried about. They just said, just kill the Juggernaut and that's it. There's no more damage on the side of Vega Squadron. So I'm hoping that Vega Squadron, they go for a little bit more well-rounded with their draft. They still grab some damage. They still have that utility. Just find that perfect balance, and hopefully they can come back into a Game 3 for us to enjoy.
Well, it's not going to be through the Bat Rider nor the Night Stalker. I mean, Vega, they didn't really have a high chance of picking the Bat Rider themselves, so got to make sure that Power Rangers don't grab it. Cheshire Cat's Bat Rider is a thing of nightmares, as is Night Stalker, I guess, but that's a little bit more inherently so. Power Rangers are opening this draft very, very softly in Vengeful Spirit. I guess both teams are opening very soft with these heroes, so burst damage is going to come down to, I mean, it's pretty even burst damage, I would say, on either, and maybe Vega with a little bit more, but when you're talking about this much burst, it comes down to your focus fire and your initiation. And so far, none of these heroes can really effectively initiate. Lion can eventually, Lena can eventually. If she's played as a support, then it's going to take a lot longer. And if Lion just has a slow start, then his Blink Dagger is never really going to come up. But who's actually going to start these fights? I'm looking towards a Clockwork for one of these teams since the Bat Rider has been banned out.
Yeah, Clock's definitely a viable pick if they really want to go in that direction. They could go for, I don't know, a Bristleback, probably not the best hero for it. You just want him to be in the middle of the team fights for sustain. So he is a viable offlane if you want some sort of initiation, but he's not going to be the best, really. He just runs in, he throws cool sprays, that's it. He just Sonic the Hedgehogs around his enemies, really. I guess Centaur is still available. Centaur was banned last game, surprisingly enough. We don't really see him that much. I guess Tidehunter is available. He's more of an old school offlaner. We don't see him too much. He was very popular last patch. Another off, I guess. I'm trying to think of a couple others. There's not really that many that's popular, I suppose. It's just the old Clockwork has appeared, though.
Well,
Your wish has been granted, Mike.
Who could have seen this one coming? It's such a surprising development in Dota that a team would pick up Clockwork when that is not available. I am astounded and amazed. But Clockwork doesn't really have any huge synergies right now with the Vega side. Like, there's no Flare combo or Sunstrike combo with those cogs or anything like that. But that's completely fine, because really what the Clockwork needs to do is get into the faces of the Lina, assuming she's going to be played as core. And even if she's not, getting those kills with the hookshot should be fairly easy. Mag's Clockwork also is legit. So this is a nice pick for Vega Squadron, effectively a ban from Power Rangers as well, since they're going to be looking for something very similar. I don't really know if there's going to be much initiation power on the Power Ranger side. Spirit Breaker is a way of initiating, but it's definitely not the best, because it's very slow, and the enemy team may very well just interrupt the Spirit Breaker out of his charge, especially if you are charging any of these Vega Squadron heroes. Like, look at, they have Zeus for the Lightning Bolt. That's very, very easy to cancel a charge. Lion has like a million ways to do it. Clockwork has a million ways to do it. PL can actually just dodge it. So Spirit Breaker landing his charge, though it will be very nice to follow up with the Lina and the Venge afterwards, it's very unlikely.
Yeah, Vega Squadron though, this Phantom Lancer pick, I've very rarely seen much Phantom Lancer in the pro scene. How has Phantom Lancer actually fared in the scene so far? I don't really have too much to really comment about it, so it's a little unknown to me.
He guarantees the late game most of the time. With a mag pickup from Power Rangers, maybe not going to be guaranteed, because, well, they will have probably someone to cleave through it. But Phantom Lancer, once you get Yasha Diffusal Blade, then that's really when you start getting to be a sizable threat. You can't really afford to stay in those team fights very long, because you just need an additional health item after that. But if you let the Phantom Lancer get farm, it's going to most likely be Power Ranger's downfall. It's not as cancerous as Phantom Lancer once was, but he still can very easily get the job done. So I like how Vega Squadron, they're loaded up on damage right now. Clockwork a little bit light, but PL for the late game, even Zeus late game, does a hell of a lot of damage, and we have ourselves a much more damage heavy draft from the Vega side. Whereas for Power Rangers, they're looking to be a little bit more focused in that utility. They almost have, I mean, they have a very similar draft to Vega of last game.
Yeah, well, actually, it's not too close. They didn't have the Lina or Spirit Breaker last game, but they did manage to pick up the Magnus and Venge, so we'll see how it works. So I feel like Vega Squadron with the Spirit Breaker, they're just going to go for the 5-man gank train, really. Just keep the aggression onto Vega. Sorry, did I say Vega Squadron? I said Power Rangers. But Power Rangers got to keep the aggression on Vega. I feel like they're taking this series very seriously. They're not going to sit back and relax for the second game. They just want to take it nice, quick, and easy, because best of 3 series, it's still very tiring. Games last roughly 40 minutes each, so, well, that's a lot of Dota for one day, I suppose, but I feel that they're going to take this seriously. They're not going to sit back. They're going to keep on the aggression, because last game, it worked. So you don't really have to fix anything that's not broken, right? So I feel like they're going to go aggressive again. Go with their Spirit Breaker for the charge initiation, have the Magnus there for initiation as well if necessary, and just have them finish up with the Lina Laguna Blade plus whatever else they're going to pick up as their last pick, because Power Rangers, they need a little bit more damage now, and what kind of direction are they going to go for with this last pick? They need a safe lane carry. So what safe lane carries would probably secure them the late game, synergize with Mag plus give them damage? We're going to see it right now. It's a Phantom Assassin.
It's definitely a nice hero when you're going up against a Zeus, getting right on top of that guy. You could kill him off in 1 or 2 hits, especially if you're empowered. We didn't exactly see the power of the Empower in the last game, just because the Juggernaut couldn't get that much going, but if Dichira has at all a decent start, then once he gets empowered, then Vega are just going to crumble, and PA, if you get on top of the Phantom Lancer, he will have a lot of armor, but you can burst him down with that physical nuke of that crit, or I guess not necessarily a nuke, but physical damage of that crit anyway. I think this is a pretty solid pickup for Power Rangers, in all honesty. I mean, PA is one of those more fringe heroes. Teams tend to avoid her, but as a 5th or 4th pick, she can definitely get the job done. Whereas for Vega, I'm not really sure if I like this Ancient Apparition pick. Usually I would like a reason to pick up an Ancient Apparition. Like, if you're trying to get rid of like an Abaddon or a Slark, that's fine, you go for the AA. But can they actually make use of this Chilling Touch early on? Because it doesn't seem like they can with their heroes. Pretty low range / melee, with obviously the Clockwork and the Lancer, and Lion, Ancient Apparition, Zeus. I mean, Zeus especially doesn't right click at all. But we'll see if this AA can get any traction. Let's see who's going to be playing what. I will take Vega this time, I suppose. We got Seema the Slayer with the worst Lion's Hut skin stuff of all time. What's with that eye? I have no idea. Not as bad as that hood thing. Quake is on that Ancient Apparition. We got Pashu Bashu on the PL. Hopefully he can get some farm in this game. No one is going to be playing the Zeus, and that leaves Mag on the clock.
Playing on the side of Power Rangers on our very, very exciting Spirit Breaker. Very interesting set, actually. We're going to have Cheshire Cat. Played very well last game. Let's see how he works this Spirit Breaker. We have J4 playing on the Lena and Magnus. We have, what's his name? Sorry.
I have no idea.
I was going to call him Russian guy. We have a Russian guy, I think, playing on our Magnus. We have Jordan playing on the Vengeful Spirit. And lastly, down bottom, we have Ditya playing on the Phantom Assassin. And, well, 40 picks in...
Oh, no, no one. Gotta watch the angles right now. You don't want to get cliffed right now. There's a spike through 2. Bounty Rune's going to be secured by both Power Ranger heroes, though. That could have been actually a lot worse for Vega. Even though they have the Chilling Touch, they were not in a position to actually take that fight because Mag was all the way in the base. And if they get cliffed as Zeus, then, well, your game is not completely over, but it's more or less going to be over.
Yeah, Mag, he really wanted to focus on the creep block so he can actually get the creeps, not just kept in there with the cogs, but really just to give him that easier time in the off lane. He was probably expecting a defensive tri-lane, but he's going to be pretty happy seeing this as a one-on-one matchup. Clockwork, very good one-on-one laning hero, especially when it's a melee hero. And even though Ditya has the blur to work with eventually, a lot of mag spells, especially the battery assault, is still magical. And I missed first blood, but I'm hoping Mike caught it.
Oh, of course
Yes.
I did. It's very easy to get those kills when you're working with Chilling Touch. It's going to guarantee most of the time that you crush level 1 engagements, and hell, even when you're going to level 3, then that Chilling Touch is going to hurt. Despite the fact that Cheshire Cat is playing such a tanky hero in the Spirit Breaker, the slow from that Lance, the spike, even though it's only level 1 from the Lion, plus the right click damage, it was enough. And if J4 gets into a bad position, then he could suffer a very similar fate. So Power Rangers, though this dual lane does have quite a bit of kill potential, it can't really afford to damage race a Chilling Touch. It simply will not work.
Yeah, Seema the Slayer, though, he's going to be a very brave line and go up against a very angry Cheshire Cat in J4. He's going to sit in the jungle, though. He really wants to put pressure onto Power Rangers if necessary, so he's just going to come around from the backlines, throw the stun. They're going to jump onto J4 again. Now, Lena, very easy to kill, but there was a beautiful charge coming up from Cheshire Cat to keep them stalled up, but they're going to get Quay. They will lose J4, though, but Cheshire Cat, he's still there at full HP, but he's going to back up. He doesn't want to lose his life. 1-for-1. In all honesty, Power Rangers going to be happy because they get one in a tri-lane versus their dual lane.
Yeah, tri-lanes are supposed to be dual lanes every single time. That's just how it works. And the fact that they got that kill before Lena died also is going to give her a little bit of extra experience as well. And Cheshire Cat gets to live. He's also going to get that experience. So Vega, they just have to make sure that they don't clump up. That's really just the problem there. You shouldn't be hit by more than one person with a charge, especially an LSA as well. So they really did just line themselves up so that Cheshire Cat can bowl his way right through all 3. And that bought the Lena just enough time to actually turn around and do something with her mana pool. So Vega, if they watch their positioning, they should have this lane more or less so on lockdown. And Power Rangers, they're doing okay right now. They are not really shutting down the Clockwork down towards the bottom lane, though, because simply these 2 heroes, though they will eventually be able to kill off Mag, right now they are unable to do so. They just lack the damage.
Okay, so Mike, I've just been told by chat that our Magnus is being played by Suchlo.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Well, then that's... I don't know why he's, like, wearing a stand-in tag and everything like that, but sure, Shotzo. Yes, I know that name. That is definitely someone that is a real thing. Up towards top. Oh, Pashu getting hit very hard. The base damage on Spirit Breaker is redonkulous, so Okay, thank you, chat, for letting us know.
Okay, so there was a charge thrown out into Pashay Bashu, but he's going to actually get the double walk off there nicely. So he won't actually take any damage, just completely mitigating it. PR, they're doing pretty well in the top lane. They're up against a tri-lane, and essentially they're winning this because they're getting the better end of the stick in terms of EXP, as well as grabbing kills up here too. So I think Vega, they're going to have to respond to this eventually. They really need to kick J4 and Cheshire Cat out of this lane. They can't let them just soak EXP like this. Because if you look at Vega's positioning, they're very defensive. They're not ready to really go for kills all the time. They want to be very careful. They cannot afford to lose kills, but they also can't really just give this free EXP and laning presence to Power Rangers. So we'll see if they actually try and rotate somebody to try and grab a kill on these heroes, because they've got way too much free space in this top lane.
They're most likely not going to make a rotation. What they will do is wait until Zeus gets his level 6, and then effectively have a global rotation in from no one. And until then, if someone gets massively out of position, like right now, they're going to go for it. Cheshire Cat doesn't have his Lina support, and he will instantly die. Oh man, Cheshire Cat with really bad positioning, getting punished up on top. Well, I mean, they don't exactly have to wait for Zeus to get level 6, so they could just pull the trigger that early. Lina, I don't really know where she was going, but honestly, I don't even know if it would have helped to have that LSA there. Lands on one hero maybe, and that just definitely won't be enough. So it's a 3-for-1 right now. Vega doing pretty well at killing off these top lane heroes, but I don't know if it's well enough, because they still have to worry about Ditchirod down towards bottom, who is absolutely free farming it up. Most CS in the game, though. Phantom Lancer, to be fair, isn't that far behind. Magnus over in mid is taking quite a bit of damage. If Bolt lands, not quite getting lethal. Now Zeus doesn't have enough mana for the ultimate, so oh man, Chacho playing things a little bit fast and loose over towards mid, but once the bottle comes back out, he should be fine.
Yeah, it's looking really rough there for Slashley, but he is managing to really stay toe-to-toe with no one. Actually, I missed a kill. Oh, poor Mag. He actually gets picked off there by Ditya. Very aggressive, actually, right behind the tower, managing to get the kill there. So unfortunate there for our Clockwork. He goes down. He gives a kill as well to the enemy carry. So a little unfortunate. We'll see if he can actually come back with the level 6, though. He's very close to it. So that hook shot is going to be a very important tool for Vega to get some of those initiations off and those really big kills, especially on that Phantom Assassin. They can't really give the Phantom Assassin too much space. She is sitting on a ring of health. So I don't think it's going to go into a Battle Fury just because they have the Magnus with the Empower there. So they might just go for maybe something like a Helm of the Dominator for some lifesteal, but then again, lifesteal is not going to be great this game just because of the Ancient Apparition Ancient Apparition Ice Blast.
Well, 2-3 right now. Power Rangers, they can very well keep Mag out of experience range, especially now that they do have this level 6 mark on Phantom Assassin. Up towards top though, Cheshire Cat all alone is going to get jumped once again. The disables last forever. And Zeus, I saw you trying to steal that. Classic Zeus plays over in the mid lane. Tried to go for the kill steal, will not draw it. It's actually going to be the Lion to get the last hit there. But this Spirit Breaker has done pretty much nothing. Saved his Lina ally once. That's just not good enough. And it's level 4 for the Spirit Breaker. Obviously, you want to wait to level 6 as much as you can in order to actually start that roam. But top lane is just not safe for anyone to be in. So you got to abandon it. Down towards bottom lane, Mag gonna get jumped. His battery assault is up, has the cogs as well. Seamless Slayer coming right in. With the charge coming in as well, this might be a bad fight for Vega. They're gonna keep going for this Vengeful Spirit, but Seema, without the Finger of Death, isn't really safe right now. He's gonna get forced back right now as the Zeus comes in. Bolt into Jotum. Here comes the charge. Won't connect into the Zeus, though. That means they will get the kill on the Vengeful Spirit, Vega. And they're looking for something else, Power Rangers. They're gonna run into Mag, though the Phantom Assassin doesn't really have a lot of mana right now. He's gonna have to deal with the cogs up on Mag. Gonna go straight for Cheshire Cat. Gets a lucky Greater Bash, but Cheshire Cat gonna die anyway. No one dropping pretty low. Ditchirod just needs one more dagger to get this kill. She has the vision. No, she doesn't. She knows kind of where no one is, or at least she should. Okay, no, he just got completely juked out. But in the meantime, Magnus does kill off the Mag Clockwork. Ditchirod still might run into no one. Did you see him? Oh, there we go. Zeus in a corner.
No.
One more hit. About time, Ditchirod. It's going to be a roughly even fight, although it is, I think, a 2-for-1 in favor of Power Rangers, with Ditchirod surviving and getting some kills.
God, no one was so close to getting promoted to a Super Spy that game. He was such a cheeky spot. The jukes he did was amazing. Although there is going to be a charge onto Pashe Ibashu. That's actually, I think, the correct pronunciation. I could be wrong because I don't know how to pronounce Russian names, but there was a lucky bash onto him. He is going to manage to get out with a Mask of Madness of all items. I've never seen this on a Phantom Lancer before. Charge throw be thrown onto Quay. He will be charged. Look at all the damage being thrown out onto him. It's very low. He's going to hang around though. There's going to be the Spirit Lance thrown out onto J4. Very squishy Lina. They're going to leave her behind. That's an easy kill there. There's going to be a charge onto Seema the Slayer though, but actually, Sarchlo, there's the RP going to connect only onto 2. They do get 1 kill though. It's only a Lion 3 for 1. Not really worth it. They're going to get 4. They get an extra one. No one managing to secure Vengeful Spirit's head there. Poor Jottam.
Man, the Phantom Assassin luckily surviving that because she was nowhere near that fight, but Vega starting things off by catching Lina in a corner, the skewer in from the mag in an attempt to get that RP off, though the RP was decent by the end of it. Only ended up getting 1 kill for the team. Really, Power Rangers, they can't afford to get into these massive rumbles up against the likes of Ancient Apparition and Clockwork at this stage in the game. It just won't work out unless they land a miracle RP. And, well, they just simply get punished. What they have to do is just take small run and gun engagements where they jump in with the magic missile, get a kill, and then back out. They keep doing that, rinse, repeat. They eventually get the Blink Dagger on Magnus, and then they'll be in a position to take those massive team fights. But until that happens, Vega, they have such a huge advantage because they do have this Clockwork. And Clockwork level 7, 9 minutes in the game, is going to be king.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how Power Ranger goes so far. They're doing okay, but they're starting to struggle. They are starting to fall behind in kills, and especially with the kind of snowball-oriented draft that Vega is running, they need to make sure they either stay toe-to-toe with them, or they have to somehow get far ahead. Dituri is farming. He is farming slowly but surely, but we'll have to see if this PA can actually combat Vega's draft, and especially the PL Phantom Assassin and Phantom Lancer. This is not going to be a very good game for me. I'm just going to get these two confused because they're both Phantoms. I could just call them Lancer and Assassin, maybe. Just make it easier for me.
Assassin? That sounds kind of lazy. Just a little bit. But PL, yeah, you did mention that he grabbed the Mask of Madness. I too have never seen this item picked up on Lancer before. Everyone loves Mask of Madness in this patch. I know it's a thing now. But I just don't know if it's a way over towards mid. Mag is going to hookshot a creep that was literally right in front of him. Kind of disappointing to see, but Cheshire Cat's going to get nuked down regardless with the help of Seema and no one's bolt. So it is going to be a kill nonetheless for the Vega side. The Mask of Madness on Lancer, I'm pretty sure it's more so going to be a farming tool than anything. Like, Phantom Lancer really doesn't want to be joining these fights until much, much later on. So with the Mask of Madness, lifesteal, and attack speed, he could clear the jungle out a lot more effectively, but his illusions actually get nothing from the Mask of Madness.
Yeah, it's very strange, but I guess we'll see how it works out for Pasha, because he is a very elusive hero, especially with the Doppelganger, and it is going to have a 10-second cooldown when he starts maxing that out. So it might work out for him in the end, but I feel like it's very strange. Your PL is already squishy as is. He's not really like a Juggernaut where he will have the Omni Slash or the Spin to really counter out some of the potential incoming damage to him. So we'll see how this actually functions on the PL. Actually, up top lane, Cheshire Cat looks like he's in a bit of trouble, but he won't get picked off. Actually, no one. He's still going to be throwing out a lot of the nukage. Will he finish him off, though? There's Thunder God's Wrath, and, well, Cheshire Cat going to go back to base very low. Is this going to be the time for Ancient Apparition to go for the skill shot? We have our Ice Blast, but looks like Cheshire Cat will heal up to a decent amount before that even arrives. Oh, it's going to go somewhere else.
Angle not quite there. I think he was trying to get, like, a I'm going to out-mind game you read on that Ice Blast, and that's fine. Sometimes you just got to go for that. But even if Quay doesn't get that kill, he has Gloves of Haste in his inventory. He's going to be aiming towards a Midas, so getting that guaranteed Aghanim Scepter down the line, going to be huge for Vega, as it always is. And I guess kind of similarly, although not really in the same vein, Shotzo on the mag does have his Blink Dagger now. I don't know how he was able to find this gold, but he has it now. And now we could actually start to look to some initiations with that Skewer. However, it's only level 2 Skewer. Instead, going to start to go towards the Empower a little bit earlier. Get his farm up. More importantly, though, get Ditchira's farm up. Who is holding on to a Ring of Health, 1800 gold. Maybe it's a Battle Fury game on the Phantom Assassin, but it doesn't really matter what she's aiming towards right now, because the bottom line is she doesn't really have anything. And it seems like they actually need this PA to step things up, as Cheshire Cat this game is not going to be carrying the team.
Yeah, it's been a very hard game for the Spirit Breaker, so Dityara, he has to step up his game. I don't think they're going to pick up a Battle Fury on him, just because if you pick up a Battle Fury, it's technically telling Vega you want to spend more time farming on your PA. That means that your PA is not going to come into the fights, he's still going to be squishy, so he's still going to be very easy to pick off. So I feel like the PA has to build some early game oriented items to help out the team, hopefully come in with some of those really lucky crits and hopefully pick off some of those crucial heroes, because PA, he does have his own set of utility. He's got the Stifling Daggers with the massive 50% slow, and for what it's worth, it's 15 matter for an incredible slow. You definitely want to use that, especially when you're chasing the heroes, and obviously, if you believe in RNGesus, he could probably get some really nice crits off, because Vega, they've still got some very squishy heroes. The only tanky hero on their side is probably going to be the Clockwork. Everyone else is pretty much running on roughly 1k or even just less than that.
Right, so these heroes from Vega definitely vulnerable to the Phantom Assassin, and maybe this would have been a good game for like a drums opening for the PA, or hell, even an armlet. Actually, maybe not armlet up against Ancient Apparition, but you know, those types of early game items. But it's not going to be the case. She's just happily farming it up down towards bottom, holding on to a hell of a lot of gold. And if you're getting absolute free farm, then you might as well do just that. I'm actually a little bit more concerned for Cheshire Cat's game. He's been sitting kind of around the mid lane, but not really doing that much. He's 0, 6, and 2 when Spirit Breaker, though it's nice if you have, you know, a 5-man charge, you get another strike on one of them, maybe you get a lucky bash. There's not any real way for a Spirit Breaker to make a significant comeback into a game, even if he does have a Magnus and Power on his team. Like, you're not going to be flash farming a Spirit Breaker. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, that's the issue when you're running your Spirit Breaker. He is a hero that relies on having a decent start, or just having that little bit of momentum, not from maybe just his team, but also from doing it himself. We actually see a kill on Lena up in, actually down the bottom lane. That was from the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, and I think the Thunder God's Wrath as well, just pretty much finishing up her life. So poor Lena, gonna be sitting in the fountain for 20 seconds, kind of wondering what she's gonna do when she actually comes back up. It's a very hard game for PR. They've got some very squishy heroes, and with the pretty global-oriented draft from Vega, it's very difficult for them to really get away from all this damage. Charge, they're gonna be thrown out onto no one, and there is TP support as well. There's gonna be Dityara, there's also gonna be Jotum, and there's also one more as well. It is gonna be Shotchle, but Zeus, he's already pretty much made an escape at this point, but Pashabashi, I got the pronunciation wrong, please excuse me, but PL being very elusive, he's actually in the trees, so he's still there. He's only got 1 point into Doppelganger, he's trying to run away, but unfortunately he does get picked off in the end, so that's a bit of a misplay there coming out from our PL, although they might get counter kills under the Cheshire Cat as well as the PA and our Vengeful Spirit. So 3 down for PR. They grab the carry on Vega, but they lose their own carry, their offlane, as well as a support. That was definitely not a very worthwhile trade there for Power Rangers.
Yeah, that was something that they had to do just because the enemies are stealing their ancient stack, and when you are working with a Magnus and a PA who actually is going to go for a BKB, you can't afford to let the enemies take your ancient stack. It's just not something you could be fine with. But Phantom Lancer, he was taking it. He was dropping pretty low. He got hit with an RP. He wasted so much Power Rangers time just because they weren't really sure which one he was. There was a misskewer in all of that as well. So Pashibashi just surviving and therefore buying enough value for his team to actually do some significant damage. Zeus and Clockwork especially were going off. So Phantom Lancer, though he did go down, got a really, really good trade for the team. And 6-15 right now, the late game isn't going to be firmly in the hands of any particular team. Up towards top, Finger of Death, and Thunder God's Wrath gonna kill off the Magnus. Oh man, the cheesy kills are real. No one's gonna grab that one all the way in the comfort of his base. But Vega, if they just sit back on this Lancer and let him farm, then they probably will be in a pretty good late game position. They have 1 kill a minute.
Wow, look at the CS actually. Look at the stats coming out from our stats man as well. 115 CS, while the average PL only reaches 94 in a safe tri-lane at the same time. Look at this farm on our Phantom Lancer. Great stuff from Pashe. A bit of a weird play earlier in the Ancient camp, but he is farming incredibly well. He is going to get those items relatively quickly, so this game, compared to last game, he will become relevant. He will help his team out, whereas, unfortunately, bit of a different story for the Spirit Breaker. We already talked about him. Cheshire Cat, very hard game. Ice Blast going to connect. Oh my goodness, is he going to pop again? He's going to have to charge up top. I don't know if he's going to survive actually. Oh, never mind. They did not have enough burst to really finish him off because Thunder God's Wrath is still important. Actually, never mind. Oh, the flare is close. Oh, not enough. I'm sorry. I got very excited, Mike. I thought I was going to see him pop. You're
But,
lovely,
look, even
Shadow.
if he doesn't die, Spiritbreaker, he's desperately running around all over the map, trying to like avoid global nukes. That's not what a game of Dota is supposed to be. That's some other Warcraft custom game that I haven't played. But this is not like a fun game for anyone if they have to do that. And it would have been a kill if no one had a little bit more time to get that ultimate cooldown. Now it is up, and oh man, they could very easily get those cheese kills if they just hit someone with an Ice Blast, which is almost level 2. It is on its way to being agonimed up by Quake. They hit him with the Ice Blast, they bolt him once, and then Thunder God's Wrath. That's an instant kill on anyone. Well, maybe not the Phantom Assassin now that she has a BKB, but everyone else, certainly a viable target. And if there's a hook shot, a flare, a finger of death, then that kill is going to be that much easier. Power Rangers, though, they're going to smoke up and look for blood, but unfortunately, Thunder God's Wrath is going to show all of that off, so no one from Vega should be dying right now, unless no one decides to jungle right now. That's not a really good idea.
Yeah, so we just actually saw this BKB pick up on the Phantom Assassin. Now, the problem is when you run a Phantom Assassin, you're hoping your PA can actually come online during the mid game, because that's pretty much where your PA can peak. She can go into the late game decently as well, but you wanted to start peaking early because she has a lot of combat potential as is. The only issue is that when you're building a BKB as your first main item, it essentially means that you're not going to be building damage anytime soon. Nice pickup on the line though, so that's going to be something going into Dityara's pocket, but that's a 10-second BKB charge used for a lion kill. So
yeah, not
yeah,
worth it.
it's not, yeah, like you said, it's not worth it. You're building a BKB, and eventually this is actually going to become irrelevant because it's only going to be 5 seconds. Team fight's still happening in the mid lane though. No one's really died though, but actually we're going to lose Pache and unfortunately in the backlines. He had Mask of Madness popped and took way too much damage, but both supports on the side of PR, they're already down. They're going to try and grab Cheshire Cat, but Dityara trying to jump onto no one, but he doesn't really have too much damage coming out for the moment. He's got the Empower boost, but he's still trying to run away for his life. BKB is still on cooldown because of the Lion kill, so this might actually be there to bite him in the butt. Actually, they're going to miss the kill onto Dityara, the cute Jukes in the trees, but he will get picked off in the end by no one on that Zeus. We still have Sochlo sitting on the higher ground. He really can't do anything. He used the RP already. Did it even connect onto anybody? I don't think it hit anyone.
I think it hit one person, although I could just be completely wrong. He's now going to get jumped. Finger of Death, Thunder God, Wrath as well. And Lion's going to draw that kill, making it ultimately a complete sweep of the Power Ranger heroes. I mean, that was, if you're Lion and you're going to get picked off, that's how you want to do it. You want to draw the 10-second BKB charge out of the Phantom Assassin. You want your team to be right behind you as well, so that afterwards you can get a team fight. I don't know if the BKB on Phantom Assassin really would have changed things. They're going to reinitiate actually onto no one. Another Strike is up, but Zeus is instantly going to commit Sudoku before that can land. Mag now getting hit with another Strike. LSA is there as well as the Laguna Blade, but Mag just not dying with those stick charges. He's going to get a 2-man cog now onto Jotum, as well as a Cheshire Cat, and Zeus coming in to clean up both with his lightning damage. And that's something like an 8 for 2 overall. Like, can they even get another one? J4 in a very vulnerable position right now, though no one doesn't quite have the Blink Dagger ready. This is just getting off the rails for Power Rangers. They needed that BKB to do a lot more than just the Lion kill, but unfortunately for them, that's all it was. And if not
Mike,
for that BKB Phantom Assassin, they need Shochlo to be doing much better on this Mag with his RPs, but he just can't replicate no one's performance in the last game. 9-23, and Vega are sitting very comfortably at a 10k golden experience lead.
I could really feel the pressure coming out from PR. JR actually Laguna to creep in the mid lane.
Really?
So yeah, he
Wow.
Laguna to creep. So you could really feel the pressure coming out from Power Rangers. They're having a rough game. They've turned into desperation mode. They're buying defensive items so that they can try and survive and get some of these kills in the end, but it's just really not turning out too well for them. They need a little bit more than this. They're expending a lot of energy for single kills. Like, there's an RP. It's going to connect onto no one. Thunder God's Wrath, though, but they're stuck in the cogs. What can they do? You are going to continue on chasing after no one, but he blinks out, so he's going to be A-okay. And in the backline, they lose the Magnus. So Sashlo going down to Mag on that Clockwork. So see what I mean? They're going into desperation mode. They're trying to go for kills, but they're losing way too much for it. Jordan, will he get out there? Cute Jukes in the trees, and he will manage to TP out, but they lose their mag, they use the RP, so that's going to be on cooldown. Oh, can Power Rangers come back? I think they can, but they need to find some of the mistakes from Vega. Vega have been playing pretty well, though. They've given Power Rangers very little to no room of error for the moment, so they haven't really been able to jump onto Vega for those mistakes, but if Power Rangers can recollect themselves as a team, remake a goal, because if you look at how they're going so far, they're a little disoriented. They don't really have a goal to work with, and there is a quick pause coming out from our line. Oh, our pause was from the DC from the line, but I feel like Power Rangers are a little disoriented because of how the game's gone so far.
Yeah, and now Lichira's gonna get jumped in the mid lane. He was trying to get this tower, I think, but then Lion comes in with the Hex, still is holding on to the Spike, and Phantom Assassin, with no BKB, actually has no chance of getting out of here. So this is definitely not a good way to start things as far as what you were just talking about. Probably one of the worst ways to start things, by losing your quote-unquote hard carry. And I think there's a Bolt incoming. Zeus is like fist pumping his way to victory right now. So Bolt to steal the kill. Classic Zeus style right there. Monster kill for no one. 11 Bloodstone charges to boot. 9-25, and Power Rangers, I mean, that last top fight was mostly really bad because they didn't realize that there was an invisible clockwork right among them, and you can't really ever anticipate that, so they got kind of blindsided by that. But still, like, they need to take much better fights and use their RPs very greedily. Yes, for one kill, that's probably worth it, but they need more heroes there if they're actually going to get that kill. They're going to go for Cheshire Cat now, Vega. They see him, they hookshot him, they put him in the cogs. Can they lock him down enough? With Seema coming in, yes, Cheshire Cat is going to die. No Finger of Death needed, it seems. Ice Blast is coming in. That would have gotten the kill if not for Lion's last right click. That's 9-26 now. Power Rangers with pretty much nothing going for them. They're very far behind in farm. They just don't have the team fight power and burst that Vega have. And now Vega, they're going to be looking for a double life on a Pashibashu. Killing off Roshana's Phantom Lancer is absolutely miserable, though, because your illusions don't really do anything. With the Mask Mattis lifesteal, he keeps himself alive, and with the Lina being taken out by the Zeus in the meantime, there's one fewer hero to deal with. Power Rangers haven't been alive as 5 heroes in quite a long time.
Yeah. So that's going to be the Aegis going in the way of no one. Probably the best person to really have it. If you take a look at Vega, no one else on the side of Vega, maybe aside from the Pia, will really benefit from an Aegis, just because when Zeus comes back up, his spells have such short cooldowns anyway, so you can just continue on spamming his spells. He's also got an Aghanims ready as well. It's just got the rest of it in the stash, so he's probably just going to pick that up and he'll have his Ags ready to go. The damage output, it's really being amped up, but down bottom there we have poor Seema being pursued by essentially 4 heroes, but unfortunately no one's going to be able to catch him. Seema the Slayer, too elusive for you, Power Rangers, so he'll get out, but Pia, they're just trying to do whatever they can to really scrap together this game, because their draft looked alright, but I feel like Vega, they simply outplayed them for the majority of the game, and it's just come to the point where they've snowballed so hard that they would have to make such a big mistake to really lose that lead. But Seema, blinking forward, he's actually going to get picked off, unfortunately. I think he was a little bit too hopeful in trying to get a Finger of Death onto the Phantom Assassin.
Or anyone, really. Like, the Ice Blast isn't Aghanimed yet. If it is, you probably go for that kill, but I don't think they had a really good read on how many heroes were actually there from the Power Rangers side. But Lion going down, again, drawing out a BKB charge from the Phantom Assassin, it's still worth it. And Pashibashu taking out the top tier 1, make it even more so. He's going to run to Cheshire Cat now. Cheshire Cat instantly tries to TP out. They lose the Venge in the meantime. Got picked off by the Clockwork on the retreat. Mag looking for more, but with no Aghanim Scepter hookshot, can't exactly connect onto anyone. It's still going to be a hugely beneficial trade for Vega. They get a tower and they get a kill in exchange for just a support death. And Phantom Lancer now, with travels up, is getting to be pretty darn out of control. He doesn't even have Spirit Lance maxed out. Did not notice that before. Going deep into the stats build in this game, but that just means he's tankier. And with 1,500 gold in the bank account, with Diffusal already up, along with Manta Style, he needs to get focused down by 3-4 Power Rangers heroes if he's going to go down, and if that happens, then Zeus is just going to be raining death from above.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, Vegas, they've pretty much played the majority of the game without Pashu. They don't really need him. They just have the Zeus, the AA, the Lion, the Clock. They can pretty much do everything that they need just with those 4 heroes. Pashu, essentially, he's just the kind of insurance hero, so if anything goes wrong, at least they have some late game presence with the Phantom Lancer. So I think he's just going to keep on farming, just make sure the rest of his team just keeps on putting the aggression onto Power Rangers, and just slowly siege up onto the high ground. They don't have the best high ground push, if anything. If you look at Vega's draft, really not good high ground push. They could probably just spam the PL illusions up there, so just hit the creep wave, throw the illusions up onto the high ground, do a little bit of damage, and rinse and repeat. That's probably the safest way for Vega to go high ground. Yeah, they can try and jump up onto the high ground if they want to, but they missed the hook shot actually onto Cheshire Cat down bottom, so he manages to get out safely. Oh dear, another defensive item for Dit. You're right, he's gone for a Lincoln Sphere. This is not looking too well for the PA.
Oh, J4 dodging death in the base of the Ice Blast does, unfortunately, for the Vega side, whiff. But yeah, Phantom Assassin, at a certain point, she can go for these very defensive items because naturally, with that crit, she will be doing a lot of damage overall in the fight. Doesn't have to be going for as many damage items as other heroes, but I don't even know how much this Lincoln Sphere is going to help her. Like Vega, they have Arc Lightning to get rid of it, they have Cold Feet to get rid of it. You could even expend a Lance and you're going to be okay with that. They're going to run to Quake over in the jungle, and that'll be a free one for Power Rangers, but it won't truly be free because bottom lane there's kind of an issue brewing where Vega are going to demolish their tier 2. So once again, it's a support trade for Vega, turning that one in for a tower, and they can go for a little bit more. At the very least, try to force Power Rangers to come back. Charge is incoming, and heroes are going to start TPing as well. But the Phantom Lancer army is already right on top of the tier 3. Seema's going to blink right in with no one. Finger of Death Bolt Lena. That's an instant kill. Poor girl, she didn't have a chance. But at the same time, Lion didn't have a chance either. Ditchbot pops a BKB looking for someone else to come in, but he's all alone. Where's the mag right now? He needs an RP, or they need more focus. There's RP angle right now, but he misses the blink dagger, and now his RP is going to completely whiff. Pashibashu's still alive. They kill off the Phantom Assassin. They're chasing forward for shots, though. And my god, Thunder God's Wrath to give the vision. Purge, and Pashibashu is going to get that kill for the team. Ditchbot now man fighting up against Phantom Lancer, but there's way too many Phantom Lancers. Ditchbot's going to have to blink back into the base. Spirit Breaker rather, is going to resurrect. Bot back, in fact. But he can't really do anything except for distract away from that Phantom Assassin. That was a clear-cut 3-man RP, but I think it was probably no one's passive that disabled that Blink Dagger on Magnus. With no RP in that fight, with a completely whiffed one as well, so they don't even have it for later, there's no way that Power Rangers actually stand a chance in that fight, and they will tap out.
Yeah, the last second, unfortunately, the poor Ditira, he just shattered just because of all the spam that was thrown into the Ancient. So he was probably thinking, oh, please just be done with it. I can't take it anymore. So wow, we're going to come to a best of 3. So this is going to be the 3rd game of the series. Both teams have managed to win a game each. So I'm going to say both teams have an equal chance of actually winning that 3rd game. We're going to be in for a very big 3rd game for both teams.
Oh, for sure. Game 1 and Game 2 were similarly won by each team in, I would say, similarly decisive manners. So I really want Game 3 to not be this one-sided. But that will remain to be seen, guys. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Danelie with Petty on these stats as well. We'll all be right back for the final game in the best of 3 between Vega Squadron and Power Rangers. We'll be right back, guys.